aluminium, brass, and also the steel, and also the machine for the hardness. And the procedure start, we switch on the machines. Okay, and then make sure that the head module of the machine is in the standby positions. And then adjust the load adjuster to 200 gram by rotating it. And then place the sample on the work stage. And then rotate the height adjuster clockwise to bring up the work stage until the sample is close to the magnification lens. And the step 6 is, while seeing the sample surface by using the optical lens, slowly rotate the height adjuster counterclockwise to bring down the work stage until the sample surface appears. And then make sure that there is no other fluorescent particle on the sample surface. And the number 8 is, please press start the button on the machine interface and wait for a few seconds to machine do the indentation on the sample surface. And the next step is bring the indentation mark to the center of the image by using the micrometer X and Y. And next step, they adjust the sample surface by rotating the head and adjuster counterclockwise slowly until the sample surface appears. And the next step is find the indentation mark by using the micrometer XY and bring the mark to the center of the image. And then adjust the head adjuster until the indentation mark is clear. And the next step is move the fixed line to the left corner of the indentation mark by using the micrometer XY. And the next step is rotate the microscope adjuster counterclockwise to move the fine line until it touches the fixed line. And the step, and then press the 0 button on the machine's interface to reset the reading for D1 and also the D2. And the next step is move the fine line by using the microscope adjuster until it touches the right corner of the indentation mark. And then take the reading for D1 on the machine's interface. After that, press the read button at the electronic microscope and rotate the electronic microscope 90-degree counterclockwise. And then move the fixed line to the bottom corner of the irritation mark by using the micrometer XY. After that, then adjust the fine line until it touches the upper corner of the irritation mark by using the microscope adjuster. And then take the reading for D2 on the machine interface. And then press the read button at the electronic microscope and the hardness figure value will be appear on the machine interface. Take the hardness figures value on the machine's interface. And then rotate the electronic microscope clockwise and press the clockwise button on the machine's interface twice to bring the head module to standby positions. And then find the sample surface and make sure that there is no foreign particle on the surface by using the height adjuster and micrometer XY. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Manawi Hanis and today I want to explain about the experimentary hardness test. Okay, the objective of the experiment is to measure the hardness of different metals by using Vickers micro hardness testing method. The second one is to plot the graph of difference result about the weakness hardness number, which is the HV for each sample. Okay, so we go to the discussions for the experiments. The first question is brief shortly why hardness value is very important in the metallurgy study. My answer is hardness is the property of a materials that enable it to resist plastic deformations, penetrations, irritations, and also the scratching. Therefore, hardness is important from an engineering standpoint because resistance to wear by either frictions or exhaustions by steams, oil, and water generally increase with hardness. Okay, and the second question is determine the hardness value for the sample provided at loading of 100 grams. Okay, on the experiments, the hardness value that we get for the steel when we put the 100 gram, the load is 345.09, and the brass we got the 147.70, and the aluminum we got the 107.20. Okay, the third is by using the sample, perform the hardness test at different loading using the data obtained, plot the graph of hardness value versus loading, discuss the result obtained. Okay, for the graph, I made the graph in the Excel, and this is for the steel, and the second is the brass, and the third is the for the aluminum. After that, I entered the graph and I got is the gray line for the aluminum, the orange is for the brass, and the blue is the steel. The graph is the graph hardness versus load is this. Okay, next question is, okay, for the conclusions, by conducting the experiments of hardness test by using Vickers hardness test machines, we can measure the hardness of different metals by using Vickers macro hardness testing methods. Hardness testing will help us to evaluate materials and properties such as ductility and strength. Plus, in order to prevent producing any perfect samples, we can prevent it from happening by testing the samples or materials first by using the hardness test. Yeah, that's all for my presentation. Thank you very much.